What's going on, Georgia football fans? It is Bulldog banter on a Sunday night post the Georgia-Mississippi State football game. And yet your usual four Letterman here, myself, Aaron Murray, Tavarres King to my right, Ben Jones in the bottom right, and then Knowshon Moreno, who is frozen in the bottom left. So we'll see if we get Knowshon working at some point during the show. Knowshon's not even home and he's having technical difficulties. So
I'm trying to make dinner reservations, man. My fault.
Oh, that's what it is. Okay. Knowshon in the bottom left. So Georgia wins the football game 41-31. A lot of us had them scoring a lot of points. So I think all four of us are good in that category at least. But I don't think any of us were predicting that Mississippi State, with a backup quarterback, 1-5, now 0-3 in the conference, would put up 31 points. So we're going to touch briefly on this game. Georgia, Mississippi State, give our thoughts, both sides of the football. And then we'll give a quick preview for obviously one of the premier matchups in college football this season, the Georgia-Texas game next weekend. And then we'll be back on Thursday and do a more in-depth breaking down the football game. But let's go around the horn real quick. Initial reaction as you watch the game on Saturday. I'll start with T first and work our way around the horn. Just like, you feel good about the win? Do you not feel good? What's the sentiment?
You always feel good about a W for first and foremost, especially in our league. But in the fashion that it got done, I think it was a little more of the same. I don't think it was as clean as we would like to have seen. I don't think it was as fast of a start as we would have liked to have seen. And then you mentioned it, 31 points from that team is kind of an eye opener. So you kind of think about what's going on defensively and things like that. But yeah, just I think we talked about it a little bit last week as well. Knowshon mentioned it. Just not sexy. It's just not sexy. It's just not explosive. It's just not. There's no wows. There's no it factor in our offense. So it's just not sexy. But you cannot be pissed off about winning. So
that's true. I think that's a valid point. And that's for a lot of fans across college football this weekend. You won the football game, so be happy about it. Ben, let's go to you. Like, obviously, we'll dive into the good, the bad as well. But your overall arching feelings from the game before we dive into more of the specifics of individual positions.
I think Bobo must have been listening to the podcast. He gave Arian some speed sweeps. He handed it to Evans for TK.
Yeah,
I'm like, yeah. He even did some toss cracks where we definitely can't block on the perimeter. Everybody keeps wanting us to run on the edge, toss crack. We just can't block it out there. We ain't got tackles who can get out there in space or perimeter blocking. That's why we run it up the middle, and we can't do that either. So I'm glad we hit some speed sweeps. We got some playmakers, the guys, the ball. Overall, we protected pretty well. Carson, I give him he played well for us. He had two bad passes. They picked one, and the other one they should have picked. They hit him in the hands. Other than that, he played well. Like he delivered the ball down the field. I was texting Murray. I was like, hey, we got to have a complimentary football. Like, get a stop, we punt. We go down and score, they have a 5-minute drive and score a touchdown. Or we go down, stop them, get the ball back, miss the field goal for half. Come out of half, explosive, let them go on a long drive and score. Like, you got to work together to be a great team. It can't just be, offense is good this drive, defense. Everybody's got to go together if you want to blow people out and get momentum. It's hard to get momentum if all three phases of the game aren't working together. So that's the only thing we're lacking right now. We just can't put it all together. Like, hey, offense does well. Defense, we need to come out there, get a stop. Don't get a pass interference or roughing the passer, and let's cover some guys. Like, hey, we got to get out there, make tackles in space, and get off the field on third down.
Amen. That Lake Dog in the chat, if we ever put together 4 quarters of football on both sides, watch out. Like, I agree, but we haven't seen it once this year. And we're 6 games through the season, and we've yet to see this team play 4 quarters of good football on both sides. Like Ben said, complementary football. It's been, either the defense or the offense kind of excelling and not both working together. Knowshon, overall feelings as we sit back now, about a day after this football game.
Yeah, it almost felt like another one of those starts where it was kind of slow again, where some of the throws and some of the reads on the backs and things of that nature, and defensively were kind of just kind of slow at first, and then they picked it up. Right, they started to pick it up a little bit. That was good to see. They put 27 on the board in the first half. So I'm like, all right, they're on their way to 40, they're on their way to 50. They can definitely do it this game, right? And then you go into the second half, they only put two touchdown scores on the board, right? I was expecting to see a little bit more out of the second half. But, obviously they went in and made adjustments and they kind of got on the roll there. But at the end of the day, like what we all said, what TK said, we got the win. I think it was important and good for Beck to have a day that he did. I mean, threw for over 400 yards, right? With a couple tugs. So it's like, bro, going into this next game where we're going to need a performance like that, maybe not that caliber, but we're going to need something great like that. I think it was a great confidence boost for him and for this team, knowing that he went out there and put up some numbers.
No, I agree with that one. There are a couple things that are worrisome that I want to get the position specific. Someone in the chat says, I want to know how the secondary went from lockdown against Clemson to struggling the rest of the year. If you go watch the Klubnik missed some passes down the field versus Georgia that could have been some explosives, like 3 or 4 that he underthrew. So like that was a little bit of Klubnik not making plays when they were there for Clemson. So like, yeah, this secondary was going to be the question mark. You're replacing 3 guys that got drafted pretty high in the NFL draft. They're talented, they're young, they're inexperienced, and they're going against some pretty good offenses with some explosive players. So it's worrisome, especially as we start to discuss Texas and that passing attack and Steve Sarkisian. Like that's going to be an issue next weekend, a major issue. Yeah. But on the positive side, like one of y'all said, the offense looked good in the passing standpoint. Like Arian Smith made some big time plays down the field. Dylan Bell stepped up. Dom is still not exploding like I would like him to be. And then, it was good to see Anthony Evans get the ball in space and do his thing, TK. So let's go position by position because, like I said, I thought the receiving game and the quarterback game looked good. Obviously, the rushing stats, I'm still shaking my head a little bit, Ben, about the offensive line not being able to dominate really in the running game. But let's start first with the receivers because it was their best game of the season. TK, what would you like from Arian, Dylan, and definitely Anthony Evans as well?
Muted.
My fault. I thought those guys showed up. I thought catching the ball was a top tier focus for number 11, and it needed to be. And I thought he did a great job downfield. And when I talk about explosives, I'm talking about explosive touchdowns. Yeah. I don't think we have had a lot of those long sixes. So yeah, we're doing a great job of getting the ball downfield. But yeah, I want to turn them into sixes, like those long diving catches Arian makes and things like that. Dylan did a great job getting that foot down in the back of the end zone. Hell of a job by him on that play. That was awesome. London Humphreys showing up, had a little drop there. He left before he caught it. But man, he's showing up for us. So I think, again, like I said, it's gonna get done by committee in this room. And like you said, it was probably the best game for all of the receivers collectively. Would have liked to see a little bit more of Dom. But I think that's what we're going to see from here on out, like just a collective effort from that room.
Ben, let's go to the offensive line real quick because, pass game was decent. The run game, I mean, you take away, Evans' 52-yard run. Frazier only had 10 for 43. Etienne had 11 for 35. Branson 3 for 12. So, like, not super sexy, not dominant the way that they should at home. What's wrong with the offensive line in the run game?
Yeah, and half of those runs are on 2nd and 1, 3rd and 1. It's just like they're just trying to get the first down, and that's it. It's like those are plays where you can hit home runs, where everybody's in the box trying to stop the run on 3rd and 1. Let's hit an explosive, not just, hey, let's just try to get 1 yard. Like, hey, let's block it up so it could split. Like, hey, let's give us a chance, because that's when they take one bad angle and the play is gone. So it's not – we got to have the mindset like any run can take it to the house. And I think we're just in here trying to convert, get the 3rd and 1, and then go back to our passing attack. So we got to be able to control the clock this week. If we want to win this game, we can't just line up and throw it 50 times. That's not what we want as an offensive lineman. We don't want to have to block those guys 50 times. We want to be able to throw some screens. We want to be able to run the ball when we need to, and then get our playmakers the ball on the edge. But overall, we protected the ball. We managed.
No sacks. I mean, that's pretty impressive. Throw the ball 48 times, no sacks. That's pretty damn good.
They can pass the ball. I think that, and that's the thing. Like, we're not the guys who are road graders. They don't have those type of guys on the O-line this year. They have guys who get in front of guys. They're not the most talented guys of what we've had in the past, but they get the job done. They're not they don't pass the eye tests a lot of times. You're looking at Bobo's son. He gets the job done, and he steps in there. He does another week for us, and that's what you want. Like, hey, he's getting the job done. No, he's not a first-round talent, but he gets the job done.
Knowshon, so is it more about, like, to Ben's sake, and obviously you're pretty hard on the running backs, you all know that, and I love that. But, like, is it more of as you watch the running back's inability to make something out of nothing? Is it more on the offensive line? Like, how do you assess, what Etienne and especially Frazier were able to do as they were the two leading rushers for Georgia in this football game?
Yeah, I think it's a little bit of both, man. I mean, sometimes you got to make that line look good. You know what I mean? It ain't there, and you got to make something out of nothing. But I think just for what the guys were for this weekend in this game, they just took what was there. They had some decent runs. I thought they ran hard. I thought when Frazier got in there, I don't know why I like it. Every time he's in there, he's a one cut, bang bang, I'm gone. You know what I'm saying? I'm going at it.
Mm-hmm.
And then having Branson go down, with that knee, little hyperextension, Jones kind of hurt us. I thought he had a good game. He was coming into his own a little bit. So at the end of the day, man, I just thought, they took what was there. Man. It is what it is. But yeah, I'm gonna always put it on the backs. You know what I'm saying? Because it ain't always gonna be there. And sometimes when it is there from the offensive line, we miss it. You know what I'm saying? So it's like, bruh, you got to go out there and just make it happen. Man, it doesn't mean run behind the line of scrimmage, but yeah, I'm saying those tough threes, those tough fours, sometimes those games kind of call for that.
Yeah. Well, the one thing I did love is when Georgia was really good on offense, they had running backs catching the ball at the backfield. Etienne, 6 catches for 35 yards. Like, that's what I really like to see. Like, if the running game can't get going, Etienne's too good not to find a way to get him the football somehow. So incorporating in the pass game, I thought was great. For Carson, finding those checkdowns, getting it to him, and that's a weapon. One way or the other, get Etienne the football. I like one with some space going against defender. So overall, like, it was a good offensive performance. I give it like a B+. And hopefully, though, they got some confidence before they go on the road to Texas this week. The biggest issue, fellas, the secondary. How much at this point in the season, we're 6 games in, we're midway through. How much of it at this point, from y'all's experience, is you are who you are at this point? Like, it ain't going to get better. Like, this is it. Like, can you get better? And I'm not talking about like a little bit better. I'm like talking about like they must be significantly better. Like, you can't make that kind of jump right now. This is Georgia. Am I right or am I wrong on this one?
You can put them in different coverages to make them feel comfortable. You don't got to put them on an island. You can have them play off coverage. You can bang in cover 2 and reroute, and hopefully your D-line gets there, but don't sit there and know what coverage they're going to play. You got to disguise it and give these guys an opportunity to make plays on the ball. And I think that's what we do, but these guys, they got a challenge this week, and if we get ahead, we gotta make some plays, and our D-line's got to show up for us this week and get some pressure so these guys don't have to cover forever.
Yeah, and here's the thing too, and this has happened in the past couple games. We gotta get off the field when it's 3rd and long. We gotta not do dumb shit when it's 3rd and long. So we gotta do things to help those guys when they are in, those good situations, and they do a good job on 3rd and long. We gotta get off the field.
No doubt.
Yeah, we gotta get off the field. So, and Murray, they're not going to get astronomically better at this point. But to Ben's point, there's things that they can do. There's things that they can learn from a cognitive standpoint to help them and put themselves in good situations. But yeah, I mean, we are who we are. But we gotta do a better job of being better at who we are.
A lot better job. You can't tell me a Michael Van Buren. No offense to him, but Mississippi State and a freshman quarterback puts up 306 yards and 3 touchdowns in Sanford Stadium. So let's look briefly ahead to Texas this week. Like I said,
it was the fans, Murray. It was the fans.
When in doubt, just blame the damn fans. It was Georgia fans were not hype enough once again, and Van Buren, secretly was telling people that it felt like a spring game and just really quiet and super easy to run the offense for Mississippi State. No, I'm kidding, but let's push forward because, like I said, it's a win. Like TK said, it's a win's a win's a win. You're 5-1. You're 3-1 in the conference. You're number 5 in the country, and I think everyone wants to just put this game behind us and focus on Texas because it's going to be an unbelievable trip. I know a bajillion people going to Austin for the weekend. It's going to be crazy. F1's going to be there. I mean, it's going to be a wild, wild freaking time. So Texas, Quinn Ewers back. They're coming off a massive win. I say massive because it's their biggest rival in Oklahoma. Oklahoma's not a good football team, but it's still a really good win. Overall feeling, it's Sunday night right now, 8:50 Eastern. What is your gut telling you come next Saturday right now? And we'll go around the horn again. We'll start with TK and work our way around. And be honest now. Come on.
Yeah.
Be honest.
Yeah. I mean, just watching Texas, you see a polished team. You see a really good team all around on both sides of the ball. You see explosive plays. You see a quarterback that's got things going for him. Kind of got a little rattled around earlier in that game, but shit, he looked good down the stretch. So I mean, you kind of get a little bit nervous with how they're playing, but again, to that point, we got to be us. We got to do the things that we're good at doing. We got to come into that game like we came into the second half of an Alabama game and finish that way as well. So I think it'll be an interesting game. I think it'll be a close one. I think it'll be an exciting one. I'm not sure. I ain't sure what I'm gonna say about the score yet, but I think it'll be interesting.
Ben?
Yeah, we've been in this big time game. We've had this hype, and we started flat against Alabama. This is our chance to come out on fire, and anything can happen. You get ahead on somebody, and you never know how they're going to react. They're not used to playing from behind. Sure. Let's do that for once. Let's get ahead and let somebody else chase us instead of us having to come from behind in a big game on the road. Let's quietly take the fans out of it. So, hey, let's get a stop on defense. Let's score some points and just see what happens. Like, hey, it's a big-time game. These guys are going to be juiced up, and it's our time to shock them. It's time to get them to get knocked off. They're sitting at number 1. They're playing good, but have they played somebody yet? We've played Alabama. We've been on the road. We've been tested. We know we can do it from the second half. So let's go show it for a whole game.
Yeah, and I want to hit on that real quick before I go to Knowshon. Like that's a big thing. Like I think this Texas team's the best team in the country.
Yeah.
But who have they played? Michigan's not a good football team. They've played Colorado State, Michigan, UTSA, ULM, Mississippi State, and then Oklahoma's not a good football team either. So they have not been challenged for 4 quarters. So there is something to be said about Georgia having been challenged this year, having gone against 2 teams inside the top 10. Clemson, let's not forget Clemson, and Alabama. And one's in a neutral site, the other one was on the road in Tuscaloosa. So Georgia has been tested. How does Texas respond to Ben's point if they get hit in the mouth? Because they haven't been hit in the mouth yet this year. So that's
hey, Sweet Jones, you kind of got me fired up. I was rocking around a little bit. Hey, you kind of got me juiced over here.
You got a bear behind your shoulder back here. You never know.
Yeah. Got to be ready at all times.
Knowshon. Once again, we're 6 days out. What's your gut telling you at the moment?
I'm nervous. I'm definitely nervous. It's a big game. It can get out of hand. It could. And then you mentioned that they haven't played no one. Okay, fine. They haven't played no one. You can only play whoever they put in front of you, and they handled business every single week. When we played someone that, quote unquote, wasn't a good team, they take us down to the wire. Okay, so they handle their business. They can't control who you put in front of them. All right, so that's number 1. Number 2, I'm looking at Carson's game. All right, if you all that talk about Heisman, I don't even listen. If you want to even get back in the conversation like slightly. You better go out there and ball in this game. You know what I'm saying? So I'm looking at Carson.
It's a wide open race right now, boys. There is not a.
It ain't wide open. Why is it so wide open? What do you mean?
Got it?
What are y'all talking about?
There's a running back. There's Gentry. There's Shador.
There's a kid from
Boise State running back.
Yes, that's Gentry. That's just 3 people.
Yeah,
that's probably 4 people. I'm missing someone. What do you mean?
I mean, Dylan Gabriel's in it now from Oregon.
Oregon.
Don't ever say it's wide open. I can't believe it.
Dylan jumped into it because he had a great game on National Spotlight. So if Carson has a great game on the National Spotlight, then yes, he's back in the conversation.
Yeah. Well, I'm gonna be looking right at him. I'm gonna be looking right at him. And this is a big game, man. We have to have him play well. For us to come out with this victory, obviously, you know what I'm saying?
I just want to win.
Yeah, fuck all that Heisman shit.
Crap.
I'm with you guys. I want to win.
I want to win, damn it.
Individual awards come when you win. No, so answer this question though in the chat because it's kind of since you're up. The DGD podcast wants to know. Question for Knowshon: do you think we need to rely more on the run game though? You said Carson has to have a good game, but like, man, I want to keep Texas's offense off the damn field.
Yeah, you would want to, but bro, they got a good defensive line. You know what I mean? Hopefully we can have a good run game. Of course, you want to have a good run game, have a complimentary game, but I think that's something that they're going to take away from us, honestly. Or what do you guys think? You guys think they'll say, okay, you got a Carson back over there, let's hold down the receivers and make them run?
See, so this kind of goes into the Josh Long's questions, like what is the key weakness of Texas the Dogs need to attack this week? There's not a lot of weaknesses for this football team. Like, they are one of the more complete teams in football. They have the most veteran offensive line in the country that's playing like it. They have one of the best quarterbacks in the country. They have one of the best receiving corps in the country. The defensive line, they lost a couple guys interior-wise to the draft last year, but they're still overall pretty good. They got the secondaries better. Still don't think the secondary's been tested yet, so we don't know exactly how good they are. So, like, if you had to say, like, okay, what's a weakness for Texas? It may be the secondary. That's what it was last year. But once again, we don't know because they have not faced a passing attack yet this year. So if there is a spot that maybe you can kind of, maybe get some juice, that passing game is something that you maybe want to test out a little bit.
What does Carson need to throw for to win this game, though? Because they're going to score points on their end, right?
I just think Carson needs to not turn the ball over.
True.
Yeah. We had 5 turnovers versus Alabama if you count the safety. And we still should have won.
But is Alabama what they were? I feel like they are tripping too.
Can I say this? Will we be talking all this shit if we wouldn't have lost to them?
No, because we still look bad. Even if we won that game versus Alabama, we would simply they only played one good half of football.
Agreed, but would it be so eye popping to everybody if we were sitting? Be a must-win game. If we were sitting,
we gotta win.
If we were sitting undefeated, would this be so eye popping?
Yes, because I still don't think we've played well this season yet. We've
I would
4-quarter football.
I would, Coach.
Yeah, we know you keep the pin out.
Will. But name a game when they played all 4 quarters. Clemson, 1 half. Kentucky, the whole game was just not great. Alabama, 1 half. Auburn, 1 half. They kind of maybe is very iffy. Mississippi State, First good half, and then they played terrible in the second half. They've yet to put 4 quarters of football together. So even if they would have come back to beat Alabama, I would still be saying this team has issues. But everyone else in the country has issues too.
Exactly.
You watch Ohio State and Oregon this past weekend. Ohio State's defense we thought was great. They look like shit. Oregon's defense isn't very good. It's no, there is not a complete team in college football. There's not a team that doesn't have a ton of flaws. To me, it comes down to, at this point, who's going to have the better day and who doesn't make mistakes. When Georgia doesn't make mistakes, they have a chance to win every single football game. When they make mistakes, it's close or they lose. So, they have to play clean football on the road versus Texas this weekend.
I agree.
That's the big one. That's the big one. They got to limit the explosive plays. They got to limit the explosives. Maybe we'll get maybe we'll see if Champ or Boykin want to join the show on Thursday. Get a little defensive juice in here. See if they can give us a little insight of what the DBs need to do against Texas this weekend. So, it's good. Yeah, can they both suit up? Yeah, that's for damn sure. And Knowshon.
Well, you didn't say how. Yeah, well, you didn't say how you felt about this game, did you, Brian? How you feel going into it?
I woke up this morning feeling like Georgia's going to lose, to be honest. Like, I just think Texas is a really good football team. But I will, like, what Ben was saying really hit me. It's like, we have all the teams across college football, like the top 10, which team has truly not been tested yet? And it's Texas. Like, I think they're really good at every position, but I really don't know yet. So maybe they're just as flawed as, say, Ohio State or Oregon or Georgia or Alabama. Like, I don't know. We're going to find out this weekend. Like, if they go out there and beat Georgia and they look good, then it's like, okay, they're the best team. It's a clear cut, them above everyone else. Like, it's a tier one, and then everyone else is kind of below them. But that question still needs to be answered. So I kind of sit back a little bit now and say, like, you know what? If Georgia can finally just play a 4-quarter ball game, then hell yeah, they can go win this football game. No doubt about it.
Yeah, it's got to be clean.
Yeah,
I mean,
that's
I'm
with you.
That's the biggest part.
Murray stop. Orange Juice Jones. Orange Juice
What?
Jones.
Why? What did you say?
Murray stop. What did I say? What did I say? Orange Juice
You
Jones.
woke up like we thought we were going to lose.
I did.
Oh,
None of y'all be like, y'all know you woke up this morning seemed like that was not a confidence building game.
Hey, I ain't gonna lie.
Against Mississippi State.
Oklahoma got after them a little bit to start the game, but they don't have anything on offense. Oklahoma.
No, they have nothing. Nothing.
Quarterbacks don't really. He's a freshman. He runs around. He can move, but he's not really a passer right now. He hasn't developed.
They haven't faced one.
Never really had a shot because they can't score.
Yeah, they have not faced one.
We can score.
Legitimate.
That's not our issue. We can score
as long as we don't turn it over.
Yeah,
it's just got to be clean. Everybody got to be.
Can't force stuff. If it's there, we got to take it. If it's not, hey, live another day. We can't give them anything.
Yeah, I think everybody's just got to be locked in, bro. I think Bobo will dial it up. There'll be opportunities to be made for sure. So I mean, we just got to make the most of the opportunity.
I'll say this too: it feels good to have a little uncertainty, right? Like Georgia's been the kings of college football for 3 years now. We've walked into every single game knowing that we had the biggest thing and we were going to freaking beat that ass. Now all of a sudden we have a little insecurity. Like, that's good. It's good to have a little insecurity. It makes you stay up a little bit at night. It gets you a little nervous. When's the last time Georgia was nervous before a football game besides Alabama?
I like sleep.
In a minute. Like, this is healthy. This is good. I like it. It means you care.
That boy said, I like it.
I like it. Come on.
I don't know if I like it.
I mean, when's the last time Georgia? It's just true. Like, when was the last time we were an underdog? We're
probably when we play Alabama. We should be a dog every time we play them.
Well, we should, but we haven't been. Georgia's been the favorite.
Oh, man.
It's been a minute.
I don't know when.
DG wants to know, question for TK, do you think Aaron has a shot at 1,000 this year?
What we sitting at now?
Yeah, what we sitting at?
What are we sitting at?
If we under 500, no.
412. Here's that.
Yeah, I don't think
but
so.
Yeah, the playoff games, though, Georgia makes it it's like
yeah. I mean, I think it'd be tough. He'll
Does that count?
He'll have to have
he keeps getting 150.
Yeah, exactly. He'll have to have a few of those, and that's very doable with the way he gets behind defenses. So I think that it's possible, it's doable, but I don't know, man. We
didn't he catch a big one this game? I'm trying to.
He caught 2.
Yeah. And the DB just let him go. Like,
yeah, but I thought he was. But I think he thought he scored already.
Or he already dropped it. He just like let him go.
Yeah, like I don't know. It looked crazy.
Let me
was right though, man. Playoffs.
Can I ask you a question, Murray? I mean, on that play right there. I mean, and I'm nitpicking. I'm a nitpicker.
Underthrow.
Was that a little behind him and high?
Wait, what do you mean? The touchdown.
The one that pushed him. He had to jump and kind of tuck his body out to the right. He didn't put it in front of him a little bit.
I don't think he was that far behind him. I thought it was a
no,
good
it wasn't
throw.
really far.
He slowed up. He put a little mustard on it. You know, he didn't launch it. He put a little bit of juice on it. I thought it was fine.
Yeah. He made a play.
TK, how many times have I thrown you a post route where you had to stop for a split second, you catch it, and you still scored a touchdown?
Yeah,
I mean, look, think of the bowl game. You did the same thing. Like a quick stop. Like, it ain't always gonna be perfect. You gave him an opportunity. We high pointed it. Slow down for a quick second. It's an explosive play. Hell,
yeah.
We've seen Arian Smith drop passes where he's trying to catch it on the run. So if I'm the quarterback, I'm trying to put it on his fucking body anyways, right?
Yeah.
Like,
So I guess
how many times have we seen him do this and it go through his hands?
Yeah.
So if I'm Carson, I'm like, I just got to put it on him and like let him catch it like this. So that's more the quarterback knowing his receiver a little bit too.
Okay.
All right. Well, we will.
I love it.
Maybe we'll sleep a little bit better this week, and we'll
Shoot,
jump into the tape, watch a little bit more Texas, watch this game a couple more times, figure it out, and see if me personally have a little bit more confidence come Thursday night when we make our picks here on the show. But we appreciate everyone joining it. Like, subscribe. We'll have they're going to do 2 current player shows tomorrow. Malachi and Miles will be doing their show for sure. So that'll be coming out about midweek. So make sure you subscribe so that you get the notifications when the new videos drop. We appreciate you guys here on a Sunday night hanging out with us. And we will be back Thursday. So bring your questions. Orange Juice Jones wants to know, do we trust Beck in big games? I do, as long as he plays the way he did in the second half versus Alabama. So
he don't.
Yeah, we know Knowshon though. We know Knowshon though. All right, we'll be back Thursday. Appreciate everyone. For Tavarres King, Ben Jones, also Knowshon Moreno, and myself, Aaron Murray. We will see y'all. Have a great week. Go Dogs.